In order that GSM system operates together as a complete system, the overall network architecture brings together a series of data network entities, each with several elements. So, welcome to the session of GSM entities. I am Disha Shukla, welcoming you all. The GSM network architecture is defined in the GSM specifications, and it can be grouped into mainly into the four areas, that is network and switching center, NSS. The another is the base station subsystem. The third is the mobile station. The last one is the operation and support subsystem. Now this is the overall architecture view of a particular GSM network, wherein your mobile device MS is connected to the BTS, BTS is further connected to the BSC, and the BSC is further connected to the MSC. The different elements of GSM operate together and the user is not aware about this, as the GSM network is defined, but the specifications and the standards, it enables the system to operate reliably together regardless of the supplier of the different elements. So moving on further, this is the network overall architecture, wherein as you can see here that the different MSs are in the cars or something, and those are connected to the antenna, to the transmitter, or you can say to the BTS here. Those BTS are further connected to the BSC, and those are again connected to the MSC. So this is the overall architecture, and again this MSC is connected to the VLR, HLR, AU, that is authentication center, EIR, etc. So we will see all of them further, but mainly it has the mobile station MS, BSS, that is the base station subsystem, that is this one. Then we have the NSS, that is the network switching subsystem, and the last one is the operation and maintenance management. That is, this area is called the MS, this area is called the BSS, wherein you have the BTS and the BSCs. This area is called the NSS, that is the network switching subsystem, wherein you have all the registers and all, and this is the OMM, that is the operation and maintenance system. So as I already said, GSM consists of the four parts, that is the NSS, BSS, MS and OS. Now moving on towards the first part, that is NSS. So the network switching subsystem, that is NSS. The GSM system architecture contains a variety of different elements and is often termed the core network. It is essentially a data network with various entities that provide main control and interfacing for the whole mobile network. The major elements within the core network includes, the first one is MSC, that is the mobile service switching center. The main element within the core network area of the overall GSM network architecture is the MSC. The MSC acts like a normal switching node within a PSTN or an ISDN, but also provides additional functionalities to enable the requirement of a mobile user to be supported. Now, this includes registration, authentication, call location, inter-MSC handovers, and call routing to a mobile subscriber. It also provides an interface to the PSTN so that the mobile communication calls can be routed from the mobile network to a phone connected to a landline. Interface to other MSCs are provided to enable calls to be made to the mobiles on the different network. The other part in NSS is the HLR, that is the home location register. Now this HLR is actually a database. So this database consists all the administrative information about each subscriber along with their last known location. In this way, the GSM network is able to route the calls to the relevant base station for the MS. When a user switches on their phone, the phone registers with the network, and from this it is possible to determine which BTS is communicates with, so that the incoming calls can be routed appropriately. Even when the phone is not active but it is switched on, So it re-registers periodically to ensure that the network or the HLR is aware of its latest position. This is one HLR. There is one HLR per network, although it may be distributed across various subcenters of the operational regions. The another part in NSS is the VLR, that is the Visitors Location Register. Now, this contains selected information from the HLR that enables the selected service for the individual subscriber to be provided. The VLR can be implemented as a separate entity, but it is commonly realized as an integral part of the MSC rather than a separate entity. In this way, access is made faster and more conveniently. Equipment Identity Register (EIR) is the third part in NSS. So, Equipment Identity Register is the entity that decides whether a given mobile equipment may be allowed onto the network. Each mobile equipment has a number known as the International Mobile Equipment Identity or the IMEI number. This number, as mentioned, is installed in the equipment and is checked by the network during registration. Now, dependent upon the information held in the EIR, the mobile may be allocated one of the three states, that is, allowed onto the network, barred across, or monitored in case it has some problems. The next part in NSS is the Authentication Center or the AUC. The AUC is a protected database that contains the secret key also contained in the user's SIM card. It is used for authentication and for ciphering of the radio channel. The next part is the GMSC, that is the Gateway Mobile Switching Center. Now, GMSC is the point to which a ME entering a call is initially routed without any knowledge of the MS location. The GMSC is thus in charge of obtaining the MSRN, that is the mobile station roaming number, from the HLR based on the MS ISDN number, that is the mobile station ISDN number, and routing the call to the correct visited MSC. The MSC part of the term GMSC is misleading since the gateway operation does not require any linking to any MSC. And the last portion is SMS gateway, that is SMSG. The SMSG or the SMS gateway is the term that is used to collectively describe the two short message service gateways defined in the GSM standard. The two gateway handles the message directed in different directions. The SMS GMSC is for the short message sent to an ME. The IWMSC, that is the short message service interworking message center, is used for the short message originated within a mobile on that network. The SMS GMSC role is similar to that of the GMSC, whereas the SMS IWMSC provides a fixed access point to the short message service center. These entities were the main ones used within the GSM network. They are typically co-located, but often the overall core network is distributed around the country where the network was located. This gives us some resilience in case of failure. Although the GSM system was essentially a voice system, the core network was a data network as all the signals were handled digitally. Moving further, the next part is the base station subsystem. Now, the base station subsystem section of the 2G GSM network architecture is fundamentally associated with communicating with the mobiles on the network. Now, it consists of further divided into two parts, that is the base station base transceiver station and the base station controller. So the first one, that is the base transceiver station, the BTS used in the GSM network comprises the radio transmitter receiver and their associated antennas that transmits and receives to directly communicate with the mobile. The BTS is the defining element for each cell. The BTS communicates with the mobile, and the interface between the two is known as the UM interface with its associated protocols. The next portion in BSS is the BSC, that is the base station controller. The base station controller forms the next stage back into the GSM network. It controls a group of BTS and is often co-located with one of the BTS in its group. It manages the radio resources and controls the items such as handover within the group of BTS allocated channels and its likes. It communicates with the BTS over what is termed as the ABIS interface. The base station subsystem element of the GSM network utilizes the radio access technology to enable a number of users to access the system concurrently. Now, each channel supported up to the 8 users, and by enabling a base station to have several channels, a large number of subscribers could be accommodated by each base station. Base stations are carefully located by the network providers so that it can enable complete coverage of an area. Now, the area being covered by a base station often is being referred to as a cell, as we already saw in the hexagonal cell geometry. As it is not possible to prevent overlap of the signal into the adjacent cells, channels used in one cell are not used in the next. In this way, interface which would reduce the call quality is reduced while still maintaining the insufficient frequency reuse. Now, it is important to have different BTSs linked with the BSS and the BSS is linked back to the core network. So, a variety of technologies were used to achieve this. As the data rates used within the GSM network were relatively low, E1 or T1 lines were often used, especially for linking the BSSs back to the core network. As more data was required with increasing usage of the GSM network, and also as other cellular technologies like 3G became more widespread, many links used carrier grade Ethernet. Often remote BTSs were linked using the small microwave links, as this could reduce the need for the installation of the specific lines in none were available. As the base station often needed to be located to provide good coverage rather than in an area where the lines could be installed, the microwave links option provided an attractive method for providing a data link for the network. Moving on, the third part of the GSM network architecture is the mobile station. So, mobile stations, mobile equipments, etc. are, as we already know, they are the most widely known as cell phones or mobile phones, and are the sections of the GSM mobile communication network that the user sees and operates. Now, in recent years, the size has fallen dramatically while the level of the functionality has greatly increased. A further advantage is that the time between the charges has significantly increased. Now, there are a number of elements to the cell phones, although the two main elements are the main hardware and the SIM card. But the hardware itself contains the main elements of the mobile phone, including the display, case battery, and the electronics used to generate the signals and process the data receiver and to be transmitted. The mobile station or the mobile equipment ME also contains a number known as International Mobile Equipment Identity, that is the IMEI number. This is installed in the phone at the manufacturer and cannot be changed. It is accessed by the network during the registration to check whether the equipment has been reported as stolen. The SIM or the subscriber's identity module contains the information that provides the identity of the user to the network. It contains variety of information including a number known as the International Mobile Subscribers Identity, that is IMSI. As this is included in the SIM, and it means that by moving the SIM card from one mobile to another, the user could easily change the mobiles. The ease of changing mobiles while skipping the same number meant that people would regularly upgrade, thereby creating a further revenue stream for the network providers and helping to increase the overall financial success of the GSM. And now the final topic in GSM is the OSS, that is the Operation and Support Subsystem. The operation or OSS or the Operation Support Subsystem is an element within the overall GSM mobile communication network architecture that is connected to the components of NSS and the BSC. It is also used to control and monitor the overall GSM network, and it is also used to control the traffic loads of the BSS. It must be noted that as the number of BS increases with the scaling of the subscribers population, some of the maintenance tasks are transferred to the BTS, allowing the savings in cost of the ownership of the system. The 2G GSM network architecture follows a logical method of operation. It is far simpler than the current mobile phone networks, which uses the software-defined entities to enable very flexible operations. However, the 2G GSM architecture does not show the voice and operational basic functionalities that are needed and how they fit together. As the GSM system was all digital, the network was a data network. So this is all about the GSM network architecture. Now this is a very important question that has been asked almost every year, and you need to be very much aware about it. I will sum it up the whole thing like it based on that. That is, you can show. So you are supposed to draw the whole diagram first such that you can differentiate the mobile systems, that is the MS, the NSS, the OSS and the BSC. And then you are supposed to explain each and every part, mentioning the sub parts of it, that is the HLR, the VLR, EIR, AUC, the MS mobile systems, the BSC, the BTS, etc. And this way the whole question ends up. If you have any question in this, you can ask me. Until then, keep learning.